Hey y'all, welcome to Art of the Budget. My name's Nicole. My pronouns are she and her, and I live in the Pacific Northwest, which is the traditional territory of the Coast Salish people. I am currently in Montana. I'm staying in my friend's beautiful old house, so I'm kind of limited to like where I can plug my computer in at the moment. But I wanted to do my June budget reconciliation, and yeah, it's actually turning out a little bit better than I expected thanks to some unexpected income. In my last budget report, I talked about the problem with unexpected income when you haven't followed your budget, which means you don't get to enjoy that unexpected income as much. Thankfully, I didn't overdo it too much, and so I will still get to benefit from that unexpected income. Of course, it wasn't unexpected in terms of like, I knew it was coming, I'd done the work, but I just didn't know when it was coming. So let's go ahead and look at the budget for June. So as you can see here, I've got $688.76 left to budget. So I've reconciled my budget in every dollar. I've got some notes here. For income, I was expecting about $4,000, and thanks to getting the income from this teaching program that I did, I actually brought in $5,003.77. So that was great. I was also able to use a reimbursement from some of my credit card points to offset some of the travel expenses that I racked up during June. I, of course, got that $954 in interest, which I always love so much. And of course, it's becoming more and more each month. Yeah, so going down into radical intersectional feminism, because I was trying to slash the budget in preparation for travel, this was one of the areas that I slashed, and I did not like love doing that. I mean, I do think that it makes sense. If you have a lower income or if you have unexpected expenses, this is an area that it makes sense to slash, but I definitely was a little bummed out not to get to like support as many cool projects or people or things as usual, and I didn't buy any art this month. So I ended up doing only $50 in my sharing my income. I did, of course, my Trans Lifeline and Patreon contributions that come out every single month, and then I shared $25 with the Trans Day of Needs, which is an event my town does. Okay, so nothing for art. Going on down to savings, I have not put anything in there. I didn't plan to put anything in there aside from that interest savings, which of course went in, and we'll come back to that. For retirement, I did put my regular $5,000 into Roth, and let's see, housing was all pretty much the same, nothing unexpected there. Gas, I went just a hair over. I had planned $150 and I did $152.75, so not terrible. But let's get down to those daily living. I guess these are kind of my flexible categories. So groceries, I had planned $350, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm having a friend stay for a week. I might need some extra food, but I actually ended up spending about $430.05, not about, exactly $430.05. So that was quite a bit over, almost like $80 over. So yeah, I mean, good to know. Restaurants, that was another rough category. I had planned $150 and I spent $277.79. And I think that was just poor planning on my part. Since I've been budgeting, I used to eat out so much, but since I've been budgeting, I do actually eat out pretty rarely. Like I always use my budget, but it's just not the frequency as before. And I typically tend to eat out, one, if I'm doing socializing, which I think is a really important part of our lives, or two, if I'm just really pooped or I have like a full day where I'm working from 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. And so it tends to be pretty utilitarian. And we definitely ate some like nice fancy food, and that was the plan. I just didn't know how much to really allot for it. So I'm lucky that I'm able to adjust that, but just good to know for the future. I have been trying to log most of my travel, and in this case, this was more like having a friend visit, but we also did travel to Portland and around the Olympic Peninsula, so I will log those things so that I have that information for the future. Okay, so going on down, No other surprises in that category. Personal spending was a little bit higher in entertainment. I wasn't sure why. You know, do you ever get to this point in your budget and you're like, what was I planning? I had planned $34.92. I don't really remember why, but I do know like I went to the movies and so I had planned a little extra for that. So I ended up only spending $21.38. So yeah, that was a little less than planned. But however, in hobbies, I had planned zero, and I planned, and I actually spent $32.36. So part of that, $6.86, was actually credit card interest. OMG. But I didn't really know where else to put because that's not something that I usually pay. And then buying some cool plant stuff while I was in Portland. So I went ahead and put that in, I went ahead and put that in hobbies, and yeah, so that's a little over than what I planned. In insurance and tax, everything is just as I planned. In debt, I actually decided for June and July, because I have travel and, you know, like I didn't plan for travel all year like ideal situation would have. I decided to postpone paying my parents their payment for what I owe them for June and July, and they're cool with that. They actually offered for me to do that. And the plan is back in the fall to basically pay them off completely. So I'll talk more about that then. But yeah, I took a break. So instead of, I had sort of planned for 200, and then I decided to do zero. For student loans, just as planned, $206.68. So let's go down to sinking funds. I put 250 into the cats. I'd actually planned about 119, but I ended up having enough to put 250, and I do need to pay for a cat sitter this month now. Right now it's July 2019, and so I do want to like get that as beefed up as possible and continue beefing it up. In the car upkeep, I changed that from, let's see, car, I guess maybe I had written zero. I don't know. I had planned zero, but I decided to do some work on my car, and so I changed it. I guess you could call that kind of cash flowing those expenses to $1,184.28, and that was to get the knock sensor on my car fixed, to get new brakes, and to get new tires. So tech fund, zero, which I do need to start working on soon. My phone is getting old. Gifts, I had planned zero, and I had a little in there, but I had to spend a little bit of money, so I put in at the end of the day $64.52. It's not really ideal usage of sinking funds, but you know, you get the idea. I'm shooting for the day when I have these actually funded properly and can use them. So yeah, and sometimes it does work out, but other times not so much. So last but not least, I'm going to go down to summer travel. And I had planned $84.32, which was kind of left over after I made my budget at the beginning of June. But I ended up putting in $155.93. And of course, that reimbursement from my credit card sort of offset that. So we could consider $29 of that from that reimbursement, if that makes sense. So I've kind of got zero in there right now as of, you know, the end of June. But then I put quite a bit in there in July because I'm traveling again. Okay, so that is my budget reconciliation. I've got $688.76 left to budget. I'm going to plop that right into my emergency fund. So let's see what we're looking at in that emergency fund. So right now there's $8,412, and I am shooting for, I was shooting for June to have 10,000 in there. I didn't make it. But I mean, you know, $8,400 is not nothing. I am going to add this $688.76 in there, which puts us at $9,088.88 for the end of June. So about $1,000 off of my goal, but still, I'm pretty pleased with $9,000. And I do feel like pretty quickly I can make that goal happen. As soon as I make that goal happen, I'm going to pay off the rest of what I owe the parents. And if you are new here, then you might not know, but I'm doing public service loan forgiveness for my student loans. I know it's controversial. I have a video about it If you want to check that out, I'll link it in the description down below. So yeah, let me know. I've been asking this in the last couple of videos. I'm really curious. What are your plans for the summer? Anything exciting? Any financial goals? Let me know down below, and I will see you later.